Welcome everyone. Today we have a patch review and analysis with the latest update. We're liking this update. I'm liking this update quite a bit and some really fun builds. So we played lots of games before I made the patch review to give you guys a comprehensive thought over and how strong this can be. So we'll go through everything in detail. Lots of changes here. Quite interesting patch actually. Firstly, the passive units, the Crystal Maiden, Joy Ranger, they were getting much more than what they're supposed to. Now those are nerfed, so you can see a little bit of less attack speed with, hunters, less mana regen with mages. So slight indirect nerf to the mage. The boss change was okay, animation was okay, the mana work is not that much big, the visual issues fixed. Now, one massive thing is, with most summonings removed, they have removed Summoning Stone. Oh no, Summoning Stone's gone, so you can see this is coming to a nerf of the Savages, and more nerf are coming for Savages. So units no longer get kill scored, sorry about it, so that's okay. Now we're looking to the big part, the hero changes. Firstly, Axe got a buff. Each time Axe gets upgraded, he gets high armor, more HP, and quite interesting because Axe was kind of below tier 1 unit, and after testing a few games out, I think this definitely favors the warriors, and some warriors do run 2 brownies, whether it's Axe and Beastmaster or Axe and Juggernaut. So this is a good buff to the brownies and warriors, but nothing major. Secondly, Disruptor got a nerf. What happened is, the damage is fixed because it could be wrong, but the miss chance is gone. He used to really do a lot once he casts a storm onto the enemy by silencing them and giving them 25% to miss. A 25% miss is a lot of damage missing, and units are not getting mana if they can't hit an enemy. So this is a nerf to the warlocks and brownies. So in return, brownies got a better early game but a weaker late game. And of course, next part we have Dragon Knight, who wasn't doing corrosive roam. I was wondering, why is my Dragon Knight doing enough damage? But now with this, he does a little more damage over time. Not the biggest change, but it is more damage. I believe it is magical or physical. I need to double check on that. If anyone knows, definitely let me know. But Dragon Knight is definitely back in my Knight build and also my Dragon Mage build. The Joy Ranger was nerfed because of the change to passive, so they give her a little more stats. Not the biggest change, and we can't tell that much of a difference for her. This is when things get interesting. Oh, Lycan. I read a post on Reddit. It says, poor Lycan got neutered. He went to the doctors as a pet. Now he no longer have puppies. He came back, he's like, what happened down there? So yeah, jokes aside, Lycan's got damage with his base damage. Lycan gets a different name for his spell. He's shifting, no longer summoning wolves. You see. So firstly, he gets more HP from shifting, he gets more critical chances. You think it's good, right? But he just feels so much weaker without his wolves. Those wolves were savage, they were hunters, they were everything Lycan was made to be. But now Lycan just like just a sad forever lone wolf. He's like, no friends are coming. We tried Lycan with a 6 savage, not enough damage. We might try Lycan with hunters. We didn't get Lycan to 3-star, but what we found is Lycan blinked into the backline before, used to summon wolves and just wrecked the backline, but now he blinks into the backline, he shifts and not enough damage is done. So I think this is an indirect nerf to the Lycan, but he was a little too strong at 3-star back then. I think this is a justifiable change, but this is nerfing the Savage even more. The next part, the star of the show, guys. FURION is the biggest winner for this patch, and this brings back a massive build called the Druid, Mages and Dragons. So we're looking at 6 Mages with 4 humans as standard with Dragon Knight. Then we'll add 2 Druids in with FURION and Twin Protector. We get the Elusive with Puck. Also, we just do so much damage with FURION. FURION is the new Mage Burst damage dealer. Why is that? Let's have a look. FURION got a change of stats, damage, etc. Those are buffs. He lost the ability to summon little trees. Now he gets his ultimate from Dota 2, which is Wrath of Nature. I'll have a short clip for us just to show you guys how strong FURION is by editing that into the video. But let's have a look at this. FURION zaps a target for 250 up to 300 damage. They bounce 3 to 5 times in the enemy who is surviving, and this damage increases by 10 to 15% each bounce. So the first bounce will go, the first damage is 250, next one is 275, and this amplifies. I think it rack up to close to 600 damage-ish by the last bounce. very deadly. This is a 100 mana cost, which is acceptable. 15 to 11 second cooldown, which is a little longer than most casters, but you can give him Octarine. So how this works is with 2 Druids you can find early game, the Train Protector will heal massively, while FURION will actually just does all the damage with mages. Having 3 mages is enough for him to be the top of the leaderboard. Once you have 6 mage, you just watch the zaps and just does so much damage, because this is doubling the damage he existing does and amplified even further by the bounces. And FURION can cast quite quickly with Crystal Maiden. Now, if given a choice of a 3-star FURION with Octarine Essence, which reduces cooldown by 50%, or a 2-star Dragon Knight, I'll still recommend a Dragon Knight to have the reduced cooldown, because Dragon Knight actually does a little more than FURION. But if you don't have a good candidate, giving FURION mana reduction or mana gain or cooldown reduction is so big. We give FURION Refresher, and he was the top of the damage leader at the 3-star FURION stage, and he just did so much damage with 6 mage. So definitely check it out with the FURIONs, guys, and try the Druid Mage. I'll be posting Druid Mage games for you guys, and with the timing, spending, adjustment, and positioning, and also item choices. So FURION is massive. Yeah, now my chat is saying FURION equals Tinker, FURION equals Lich. So think of FURION as Luna. Luna is the the bounce of glaives with physical attack. FURION bounces with magical attacks. And instant cast, FURION is like Lich Luna. And also Tinker. So lovely, lovely one. Next part, we have Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman got about maybe 15% more attack rate. So with this attack rate, he's likely to chicken things quicker. It's not the biggest change in the world because he's so weak, but I have seen a lot of players making Shadow Shaman work with 2 2-star Shadow Shaman and 2 2-star Bat Riders. Just with a few knights or a few units to tank in the front line, he just chickened everything. It can work, but it is not like a top of the meta. If you go for the Trolls and Knights, it's okay, but unless you go for that, it's rare to see Shadow Shaman in action. But it's a good change though, I like it. This is an interesting one. The Tusk got multiple upgrades. Firstly, he's 40% quicker to cast his spell, and also he casts his spell at 3-second lower cooldown. You'll think this is a wonderful change to Tusk, which is. And at higher level Tusk, he can just bang, 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 which it does happen. But what happens is, if you don't get a 2-star Tusk, he will die after 1 punch. If you get a 2-star Tusk, he will still die after 1 punch, because it's a melee unit after round 15. So how to build around Tusk is to go with 2 warriors other than Tusk, to have 3 warriors for the armor, maybe having scaled, and maybe give him Octarine Essence or just something that tanks up. He can do 1 punch every 2 seconds, or you can make him durable. But if you're building around a Tusk, that might not be the best thing because the savages are not very strong. We tried 3-star Tusk with a 6 savage build. It was very fancy and very beautiful. We got Venom 3-star as well. But in the end, it was not enough. So keep in mind, Tusk got a nice buff, use him in the early game. If you find a 2-star Tusk early, you can still use him, but you can sell him later for full price. Lastly, oh gosh, I'm a little sad about this one, and I see lots of posts on Reddit. It's like, what have you done, guys? Venom is the mascot, Venom is the reason I play, and Venom is like so beautiful and majestic. And yes, they took Venom's plague work away. So Venom used to summon a little snake ward that attacks enemies and does the bleeding damage with the savage. It's very stable and used to be the game changer. With Summoning Stone back then, it used to do a lot of damage as they rack up the bleeding damage. Now without that skill, you would think, hey, this is a venomous skill, it does poison damage at 25, 50 instantly, and then it does 10, 20, 40. Notice this is every 3 seconds. So that means you only procs 5 times. 5 times 10 is 50. So after Venom saves up his entire arsenal of spells at 1-star, he does 75 damage. And that's over 15 seconds. Once Venom is 2-star, he would do 50 plus 100. So he does 150 damage. And yes, he slows movement speed, attack rate, but he's out of here. He's not doing enough. So what happens is he only does minimum damage, and it's not like even justifiable. On top of that, he's likely to miss. I had a 3-star Venom who keeps puffing at units on a awkward angle, and he was not catching a lot of them. And even when he caught them, he didn't change anything because units didn't need to move. They just smacked my frontline away. And Venom couldn't do enough damage. And on top of that, Venom is really countered by healing comps on Warlocks, because you damage them ever so slightly. What's going to happen is they get mana, and then they cast spells, then they heal up. And they're like, what's your purpose, Veno? He's like, I have no idea. So we tested Veno many times. Even with the 3-star Veno round 18, it seems to be a bait. Veno used to be higher in the tier 1 section, even at 2-star or 3-star. Now he just fell down so much lower. I only recommend using Veno as an additional unit for Warlock and for Tusk. But you should not go for Veno 3-star, because once you get Veno to 3-star, guess how much damage you do over 15 seconds? You do a whopping amount of 300 damage. Tusk just look at Veno, it's like, really buddy? I have 1 punch for 300. So usually it doesn't hit a lot of units as well. The range is about 3 cells with the casting, but it is at a straight line. And that has a big potential to miss. It's like a Senkin stun, except he doesn't stun. Cooldown is lowered, but not justifiable. So overall, this is a wonderful patch, and after testing a variety of builds, we tested Knights, we tested a little bit of Joranger, tested Savages, tested a lot on the Mages and Druids, which to great success. So I would like to emphasize how good FURION is. FURION is superb if you have any form of magic. I've seen people run 6 elusive with mages, which is not a good idea. You should try 3 elusive with mages, 3 to 6 mages good. And FURION is just the old school shadow thing, which is a little cheaper. He does not hit that hard, but it's so likely to find him to 3-star with the Train Protector. So you go with a 2-star Train Protector, 3-star FURION, and you have 2 3-star bodies in the front for the mage. 1 heals and 1 zaps for a bazillion damage. It's a zap FURION. So definitely check it out, and if you guys want to try the build, I'll be posting my build for you guys onto YouTube. So if you guys like my guide, definitely subscribe onto YouTube for more guides, more reviews, and more builds for this patch and the latest patch for October that's to come. Please also follow and subscribe to support me on Twitch if you can, that'd be so nice. Thank you guys. So now only the 2 summon units are Arc Warden and Lone Druid. Arc Warden is not good with Summoning Stone, definitely not. No worries guys. So that was a quick review, hopefully you guys enjoyed it.